Shaquille O'Neal from Louisiana State University.
When Shaquille O'Neal entered the NBA,
Hold on, y'all. And by the way, if y'all was wondering, oh, you don't know about Orlando Shaq? No, I wasn't even alive when Orlando Shaq was drafted.
the Orlando Magic instantly became
Ooh.
must-watch basketball.
Oh my goodness, Shaquille O'Neal, what an athlete!
He quickly started to break records, backboards,
I remember seeing this clip.
and opponents' spirits. Shaq also
Dang.
did what many thought was impossible.
Look
Defeated
how
Michael
aggressive
Jordan
Shaq
in the
looked.
playoffs and carried his franchise to the finals.
Like, he looked
faster
so
than most
fast.
modern superstars. But he was still too immature to win it all, just like the franchise
Yeah, he got
that
swept.
drafted him.
We could have beat Houston, but that was all my fault. It really was. We
Cause y'all could have beat Houston, bro. Y'all ain't even win one single game, but y'all could have beat Houston. Stop it, Shaq.
were rolling, and we beat the Bulls. We was going crazy. Like, we beat Mike.
And even though O'Neal's
Bro,
dominance
Mike
is
just came
mostly
back.
associated with his years as a Laker, young Shaq was dominant in a completely
Look
different
how
way.
fast Shaq
weighing
looked
a
right
whopping
here, bro.
130 pounds
This is
less
different
than in
from Lakers.
2002 when he won his third championship with the Lakers. O'Neal could run the floor like a gazelle and zip past most opposing big men.
O'Neal runs the floor, takes it
Bro, he looks so fast.
Even though he only spent 4 years in Orlando, those 4 years were just like the franchise's name.
It was
Magic. But
it was
how
only
good
4
was
years.
Orlando Shaq actually? And should he have achieved more playing for the Magic? By his own admission, Shaq wasn't the best collegiate player during his 3-year tenure at LSU, despite averaging 26 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 blocks in his last 2 seasons. O'Neal gracefully put Duke's Christian Laettner at the helm for the best collegiate center.
He dunked on Christian Laettner?
Seasons. O'Neal gracefully put Duke's
Oh no, that's Christian Laettner dunking the ball.
Christian Laettner at the helm for the best collegiate center. And the Dream Team
I
thought
remember
so
Christian
too,
Laettner.
selecting
Well,
Laettner
hearing
to
about him.
represent Team USA at the 1992 Olympics.
Christian Laettner.
Laettner.
He had a better college career than me. Sometimes you have to
He
sit down and just be
he was
honest.
hard.
I'm the best player. I should be on the team. But then I don't want to be on the team anyway if I ain't gonna play. So he had a better career. So I said, okay, but you still keep it here, and it just drives you. So now I have to ensure that I'm the first pick.
But back in those days, O'Neal was still a mystery. Even though he had enormous potential, Shaq was still viewed as somebody who dominated in college just because of his size. However, the Magic were a young franchise in desperate need of a star. They were founded in 1989, and
I love
in their
that mascot.
first 3 NBA seasons, they averaged only 23 wins, and they needed a superstar to win games and sell tickets. And because Shaq's physical dominance was just leaps and bounds ahead of every
Run that back. Look at
and sell
Shaq.
tickets. And because Shaq's physical dominance was just leaps and bounds ahead of everybody in the 92 NBA draft, the Magic selected him with the first overall pick, while Laettner got picked up 3rd by the Timberwolves.
Oh.
If anybody had doubts about Shaq, the big man silenced them faster than any other player in history. He averaged 25 points and 17 rebounds per game in his first 4 games, becoming
What?
the first player to ever win Player of the Week in his first week of NBA basketball. And despite being stronger than any other player, Shaq wasn't
Okay.
just some brute with
Okay.
no skill. O'Neal could handle the ball to lead the break or unleash a crossover that left opponents in the dust. He could consistently make short jump shots and hit teammates with pinpoint passes. We had never seen
Wow.
a player that big move with that kind of agility.
Man.
Shaq truly was an anomaly. His spins were so quick that he looked like a ballet dancer, and he would slip past the defenders with moves that had nothing to do with pure power. But his size and strength stole the headlines, especially after O'Neal brought down the basket in Phoenix.
Coming off the bench as
Look at
O'Neal
Barkley.
follows and almost and does bring down the entire backboard.
And then completely tore the hoop in New Jersey 2 months later.
2 months later?
Never seen that.
After
Wow.
his rookie season, the NBA had no choice but to fortify and Shaq-proof the baskets, upgrading the backboards to be more durable, requiring a backup hoop at every game, and installing
Wow.
a breakaway rim system that bends under pressure. O'Neal averaged 23.4 points on 56.2% shooting, 13.9 rebounds, and 3.5 blocks per game in his first season, and was
Wow.
2 votes shy of winning Rookie of
His
the
first
Year
season?
unanimously. Shaq was
That's
also
crazy.
the first rookie to be voted an All-Star starter since Michael Jordan in 1985.
Back to those early years for Patrick Ewing as Shaq goes up and sends it down.
The Magic won 20 more games than the previous season, finishing the season with a 41-41 record, but missed the playoffs by virtue of a tiebreaker with the Indiana Pacers. However, that proved to be a blessing in disguise. Because they didn't make the playoffs, the Magic ended up in the lottery. And even though they only had a 1% chance to get the #1 pick in the draft, Lady Luck was on their side, and Orlando had the first overall pick for the second year
Oh,
in a row.
and this is when they got
Believe
Penny.
it or not, the first pick in the 1993
This is
NBA
like
draft
the
goes
Maverick
to
story.
the Orlando Magic.
But while Orlando was prepping for
Kinda.
the draft, O'Neal was doing what he did, maybe even better than basketball, being an entertainer. And
Being a
because he was
fool.
just as good in front of the camera as he was on the court, he quickly became one of the most popular players in the NBA. Marketing executives and film producers fell in love with Shaq too. And after his rookie season, he got offered a role in a basketball film called Blue Chips, where he first
Blue
met a
Chips.
guy named Penny
I don't think I ever
Hardaway.
watched
And when
Blue
Shaq
Chips,
first
bro.
saw Penny, he wasn't familiar with his game, actually believing that Hardaway was an actor.
I was like, yo, man, who the fuck is this actor? Because we on the movie said that's Penny Hardaway. And I don't know about you, but I don't be looking at college players. Seeing who the
I
fuck
don't
they
look
are.
at college
I
players
guess
either.
they do, so.
But everybody in the world
But this
believed
class
that
coming up
Orlando
is
would
tough.
use their #1 pick on power forward Chris Webber, who was universally considered the best collegiate player. However, during the shooting of Blue Chips, O'Neal got so enamored with Penny's game that he gave Orlando the ultimatum: either draft Penny or lose me.
We might not get him
Oh.
with the first pick. We want to go with C-Web. Nah, f that. You're going to have to get Penny. My deal is up in 2 years. If you don't give me what I want to help me win this championship, I'm going to have to look elsewhere.
And when the 1993 draft came around, the Magic drafted
Chris Webber.
and Shaq
And they
was
traded.
furious.
And they,
I'm just
oh,
tearing
this
them
how
off
the
the
trade
house
happened.
apart. 'Cause I'm like, these motherfuckers didn't listen to me. They tested me. Because now that I put myself in charge, I'm in charge. You're going to have to do what the fuck I say, or else I'm going to have to go somewhere where they're going to let me be in charge.
But moments later, it was announced that his wish was granted.
They say, wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to report a trade. Orlando has
Traded
the
the
draft
draft
rights
rights.
to Chris Webber to Golden State in exchange for the draft rights.
Wait, Webber got. See, I'm so
to
young, but I don't
Anthony
know this.
Hardaway
This nigga got drafted to Golden State.
and 3 future first-round draft picks.
And I was like, oh, shit, they did it. They listened to me.
Then, when
That's
the season
crazy.
started, Penny and Shaq continued to build
But
on the
it worked
magic that
out.
started on the movie set. The young, fast, and athletic Orlando Magic became the most
I gotta
fun
watch
team
Blue
in the
Chips.
league, with many fast breaks and transition.
Gotta watch that.
Lost to Hardaway. Here is Shaq, baby.
Hardaway was the perfect partner for O'Neal, as he was a pass-first point guard who could run the court and feed his big man.
Magic run
Did
out.
he just
4
dunk
on
on
3.
Hall?
Left
No,
hand,
that
left
ain't
wing
yours.
pass to Hardaway. To
Yeah.
O'Neal. He flies home.
Oh, boy, great look, Penny Hardaway.
Far more frequently than Kobe ever wanted to when Shaq joined the Lakers.
Ugh.
And Shaq was hungry, literally, because he started pumping iron in the gym, surpassing 300 pounds in his sophomore season.
Dang.
And metaphorically, because he wanted to destroy every opponent. But while Shaq bulked up in the gym,
That's
you
unhealthy,
could make
right?
your pockets bulk up during the playoffs this year, which is why this episode
Ah, boo, bro.
started underdog or
Come on,
to
gang.
I've been having a play of touch.
Dang. This advertisement this long, G?
Be 21 points apply. Under WW7 averaged 29.3 points per game in his second season on 60%
Wow.
shooting, leading the NBA in field goal percentage. Shaq nearly won the scoring title, but in the final game of the season, David Robinson scored 71 points to win the scoring crown over Shaq by
Oh, yeah.
0.06 points per game.
That's
Apart from
crazy.
scoring, O'Neal also grabbed 13 rebounds and rejected 3 shots per game, which earned him a selection to the All-NBA third team, and he finished 4th in MVP voting. His best game of the season came against his hometown New Jersey Nets, when O'Neal registered the first triple-double of his career, recording 24 points to go along with 28 rebounds and an
What?
unreal 15 blocks, both of which
What?
were career highs.
Blocked by
What
Shaquille.
the-
His 15th block of the ball game.
But even though Orlando won 50 games in the regular season, the more experienced Indiana Pacers showed him that playoff basketball was something different. The Magic got swept.
This is an Indiana team that has now won.
All this
its
talent just to lose to
11th
Michael
game
Jordan.
in a row. They had the second
Man.
best record of the NBA over the last 6 weeks of the season, and they are in the second round of the playoffs.
and Shaq had an underwhelming series, averaging 20.7 points per game, 9 points fewer than the regular season. But despite their plethora of young talent, the Magic were aware of their chronic lack of experience. So in the summer of '94, they brought in Horace Grant, one of the key pieces of the three-time champion Chicago Bulls. Brian Shaw also
And that's when
arrived,
Rodman
and the
went.
Magic were ready to
Is
take
that
the
when
next
Rodman went
step,
to the Bulls?
and they did. Hardaway was the conductor of the show. O'Neal attacked the
Or was
rim
that a little
with
bit
no
after?
mercy. Nick Anderson and Dennis Scott were hitting from the
Nick
outside
Anderson.
when Shaq got doubled.
He got the burner.
Horace Grant did all the dirty work, and B. Shaw was there to steady the ship off the bench. Orlando finished the season with 57 wins and had the #1 seed in the East with the best offensive rating in the NBA. Shaq averaged 29.3 points per game, exactly the same as the previous year. But this time, it was enough to win the scoring title. But David Robinson once again defeated Shaq in an even more important award for league MVP. However, once the playoffs started, Shaq couldn't be stopped. O'Neal ruled supreme in the paint, leading all players in scoring and rebounding, as the Magic defeated the Celtics 3-1 in the first round, thus winning their first playoff series in franchise history. But in the second round awaited the biggest test of Shaq and Orlando's NBA journey, the clash with the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan, who returned to the NBA after a year-and-a-half hiatus for baseball. In Game 1, Shaq dominated, leading all scorers with 26 points and 12 rebounds, as the Magic won 94-91. In the final seconds of the game, Orlando's Nick Anderson stole the ball from Jordan to clinch the game for the Magic.
I need to watch this game, bro.
And in a post-game interview, Anderson said that 45 wasn't 23. Jordan had switched to number 45 when he returned from baseball. Once he heard Anderson's comment, he returned to his old number. Wearing 23 again, Jordan went berserk in Game 2, finishing with 38 points in a 104-94 Bulls victory. After 5 games, Orlando had a 3-2 lead, but Game 6 was played in Chicago, and everybody expected Jordan to lead the Bulls to victory and extend the series. But Shaq had other plans. With 27 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals, O'Neal did everything possible to push the Magic to victory.
Now look at Shaq with a steal.
Man.
Oh my goodness.
This man had 4
Shaquille
steals,
O'Neal,
dog.
what an athlete.
And they edged out the Bulls 108-102, advancing to the conference finals. For the series, O'Neal averaged 24, 13, and 4, showing that he'd made tremendous progress as a playmaker and was one of the best passing centers in the NBA, a role many people never gave him
This
credit
nigga couldn't be
for. But in
stopped.
the conference finals, the Magic faced the Pacers, who had served them a painful lesson the previous season. The series was extremely close, with home teams winning each of the first 6 games, with everything to play for in Game 7. And playing in front of their home crowd, Orlando blew out Indiana, winning by 24 and making their first trip to the NBA Finals behind stellar play from O'Neal, who averaged 27 points and 10 rebounds per game.
The Orlando Magic heading to the NBA title.
In the finals against the Houston Rockets, the center of attention was the battle between Shaq and Hakeem
In a
Olajuwon.
dream.
But it was the role players who were the biggest story of Game 1 of the finals. With 10 seconds left in the game, Orlando was up 3 and had the ball. After a foul on Nick Anderson, Orlando's guard missed both free throws. However, he managed to get the rebound and was fouled again.
And Anderson missing on both, but gets to the rebound.
Oh.
Again draws the foul.
But 2 more free throws brought 2 more misses. If Anderson
What?
had made just 1, the game would be over.
Wow.
With 2 seconds left, Kenny Smith hit a 3-pointer to tie the game and send it to overtime.
Kenny. Let me see that jumper, Kenny.
He's tied the game.
Where Houston managed to prevail and win Game 1 on the road.
Drexler.
Look at Clyde. Hey.
The Rockets lead 0.3 of a second.
This loss zapped the energy.
Yeah,
from the
that's
Magic,
crazy.
And the experienced Rockets took advantage. Even though the games were close, Houston won the next 3 and swept the overly
Oh my
confident
God.
Kings,
No,
so
no,
the
no,
games were
no,
zapped.
no. Look how Hakeem just got off on Shaq. We not gonna skip. Look how Hakeem just got off on Shaq.
The energy from the Magic.
Hold on.
And the experienced
This Shaq right
Rockets
here,
took advantage.
right?
Even though the games were close,
Defense.
Houston
Man, look at this. I'm a mute, bro. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my God. Oh, that ain't Shaq. I'm so dumb. That's Horace Grant. But still, just look at that spin. Come here. Oh my God. Bro, that's wide open. Look at Penny. Penny just like, damn. Bro, that's wide open. Off a spin move. I'm gonna let the clip. Look at this. First spin. Oh my God. Look at this nigga arm. His arm all the way tucked. Wow. Cause he got his hands in the cookie jar trying to reach. If you reach, Hakeem, teach. Play the clip.
Won the next three and swept the overly confident kids from Orlando. But even though they got swept and outscored by Hakeem, O'Neal still had the best series of his career, averaging 28 points, 12.5 rebounds, 6.3 assists, and 2.5 blocks per game, while making 60% of his shots.
Bro,
but
what?
Despite his great play,
This
the
nigga
Big
Jokic
Diesel was still extremely young and wasn't yet
He not Jokic. He way better than Jokic, y'all. I know how y'all be in the comments. He's way better than Jokic.
a good leader. Shaq later admitted that he and Dennis Scott partied for a week straight after they won the East, thinking that if they defeated Jordan, they would easily win the championship.
We did it, and we beat them, and we had 10 days off. And that's when the trouble started. Parties at my crib, parties at D. Scott crib. Me and D. Scott, we in this little ass jet. We fly to Atlanta. We in Magic City for 2 days. We had 5 days off. So we was going crazy. Like, we beat Mike. And we had beat Houston during the year. This is about to be my first ring, so I didn't know how to keep that focus.
And after he missed only 5 games in his first 3 seasons, in 1996, Shaq was dealing with injuries for the first time, missing 28 games.
Wait. This nigga, bro, you ain't missed no injuries until 1996? Nah, bro. You got the Mikal Bridges health out here not missing games. You out here getting steals. That's, bro. He couldn't have not, bro. Shaq, what happened? I mean, Mike eventually got. Oh, what happened?
He averaged 26.6 points and 11 rebounds per game and made the All-NBA third team. Despite O'Neal's injuries, the Magic finished with a regular season record of 60-22, second in the Eastern Conference behind the Chicago Bulls, who set an NBA record with 72 wins. In the first round of the playoffs, Orlando easily swept the Pistons, and in the second round, they got past the Hawks in 5 games. The stage was set for the 2 best teams in the East for a heavyweight showdown. But this time, Orlando had no chance against the 72-10 Chicago Bulls. The Bulls swept the Magic. And even when the game was close, Jordan always found an extra gear to keep
got swept by Hakeem and Mike.
The Bulls also killed the Magic on the boards, grabbing 60 more rebounds than Orlando. And Rodman alone had nearly as many offensive rebounds as the entire Magic team. But despite not winning the title, Shaq had an excellent playoff run. In 12 postseason games, O'Neal averaged 26 points, 10 rebounds, and 4.6 assists, while making 60% of his shots. There was still room for improvement, especially on the defensive end, but everyone believed that the Magic would become a dynasty, since Shaq and Penny were only 24 years old. O'Neal became a free agent after the season, but nobody expected him to go anywhere, as Orlando had his bird rights and could offer him the most money. But the Magic dropped the ball, and they dropped it hard. With players like Alonzo Mourning and Juwan Howard getting $100 million deals, Orlando only offered Shaq $54 million.
What? Juwan Howard and Alonzo Mourning is getting $100 million, but Shaq is only getting 50. That's crazy.
Explaining how they needed to save money to keep Penny Hardaway. O'Neal was rightfully offended, but he still wanted to stay. And then the negotiations kept stalling, and Jerry West swooped in, offering O'Neal $120 million to sign with the Lakers. On top of that, the Orlando Sentinel conducted a poll in which 91% of its readers voted that Shaq didn't deserve a max extension.
What?
After insults from both his team and his city, O'Neal had made up his mind.
I would have been
Even
gone
though the
too.
Magic eventually offered him $115 million, it was too late. The lure of Hollywood was too strong.
You going to
And
Hollywood?
Shaq
You
signed
getting that
the
money?
biggest contract in basketball history at the time, leaving Orlando after only 4 years.
In case you haven't figured it out yet, I've signed with the Los Angeles Lakers. Keep in mind the word change. To me, changes for the good.
In 295 regular season games, Shaq averaged 27.2 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 2.8 blocks per game, while shooting 58% from the field. In the playoffs, his scoring dropped to 25.3 points, but his assists rose to 3.7 per game, helping Orlando to win 22 playoff games. After Shaq left, the Magic had just 13 playoff wins from 1997 to 2008. During his first 4 years in the
1997 to 2008.
NBA, it was the most athletic version of Shaq, as he was a guy who could run the floor and finish with a thunderous dunk on seemingly every possession.
Shaq made my life easy, bro. It was 30 every night for him. I know rim running isn't a big thing nowadays for everybody, but he was the best rim runner back then that I had ever seen. Shaq made it personal. He'd get like 8 to 10 points a game on just rim running down the court before everybody got down there.
O'Neal's game back then was almost like the 90s version of Giannis. And if Shaq played in today's NBA, he would probably develop his handle even further. And
he would have to have a handle.
Court. But during the 90s and early 2000s, basketball was played inside the three-point line. And that's why Shaq's most dominant years came with the Lakers, when he bulked up and became even more dangerous in the post. But that's not saying that O'Neal wasn't dominant in the post already in Orlando. His spin move alone, when combined with his size,
bro, look how fast he was, bro.
Around the rim. And
that's
because
crazy.
Shaq could finish post moves with either a soft-touched hook shot or a powerful dunk, it made him almost impossible.
Oh my God, bro.
However, probably the biggest difference was in mentality, as the young Orlando Shaq was more worried about having fun without the immense pressure to win. He made music, movies, and TV shows. He owned clothing lines and record labels. He partied and was too distracted to win immediately. But even with all that, Orlando Shaq was a dominant force, finishing in the top 10 in MVP voting in each of his 4 seasons with the Magic.
Oh my God.
Oh, baby! Oh, my goodness! He
Lonzo.
went flying through the air!
And despite the messy divorce, Shaq remains a Magic legend who gave Orlando their first taste of basketball glory, and for which he deservedly got his number retired by the franchise. Thank you for watching. And if you like this video, we have another one for you right here.
Man, we go check that video out. Orlando Shaq, bro, I did not know, bro. I seen clips of Orlando Shaq. Bro, Shaq is moving very swiftly and very fast. I did not know he was this fast on Orlando. He's very fast, bro. And man, yeah, if his mentality was serious, who knows? Maybe he would have beat Hakeem. I wasn't alive to see it, so I have no clue. That's why I'm watching and reacting to this. But I will catch y'all boys in the next one.